for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and really thank you to the witnesses. This has been a really interesting and important discussion that we've had here today. I want to turn back to the concept of cognitive warfare and misinformation and think about it in the context of both the goals that various would-be world powers have and the fora in which they are conducting the cognitive warfare that they're conducting in this country. And so I'll start with Mr. Kolga. What do you think the goals of Russia, China, Iran, the United States are with respect to Canada? How do they differ? And what role are university campuses playing in all of this? What role is, we talk a lot about the internet, but where is the warfare occurring? It's occurring in the courts, it's occurring on the internet, but where is it physically manifesting itself, and who is being targeted and why?
Very big question. I'll try to be as concise as possible. Look, on the Russian side, and I don't think it's that much different on the side of the Chinese government, we have certain elements of their playbook, which was exposed in a 2024 FBI affidavit focused on Russia's doppelganger operation. And so we have very sensitive, top secret, high-level documents that were leaked from the Russian presidential administration that basically lay out what those objectives are. And sort of at the top of that list, at least for the Russians, is to disparage the Ukrainians, to erode public support for the war in Ukraine, but more importantly, it is to divide democratic nations, to find the most potentially divisive, polarizing issues, and then to basically target both sides of those issues with various forms of misinformation and disinformation. And so from those same documents, we know that Russian strategic communications firms, also leadership within the government, was instructed to persistently monitor our information space for those sorts of issues. And they've been doing that for quite some time. And so I think that, we certainly saw this. We've seen Russian information operations target both sides of environmental issues. During Black Lives Now, they targeted both sides of that issue. During COVID, we know that they became extremely active in trying to intensify the social impacts and the political impacts of the pandemic on Western societies, including Canada. And right now, with my work with DisinfoWatch, we're sort of monitoring what's happening in the Canadian information space right now. And we're seeing Russia become very active in terms of trying to amplify regional grievances inside of Canada to try and further sort of flare up and polarize Canadians on those regional issues. So this is what Russia does very well. China is doing it increasingly well, but what China does very well is it focuses on.
I apologize. It's just I only have a minute and a half left, and you're
Sorry.
right. People can probably extrapolate in terms of what China is doing and which issues they are targeting both sides of, like things like the forced labor. On Iran, you can see where they're going. But the question that I want to ask, and this is the thing I want to get at for the people that are watching at home. As politicians, we get a lot of email. We get a lot of forum email. And my question is, and it'll probably be the last question of the day, it's what advice do you have to the people watching at home? When they get a report, they watch something online, there is inevitably a something where they want someone to click a petition and send us a message. What advice do you have for people when they are learning about issues that look to divide Canadians?
Take a step back, take a deep breath, think about what you're seeing, consider who's behind it and what they're trying to achieve before you click on anything. The other thing that I tell Canadians is stop looking at social media. Just get off social media if you can. Get a subscription. I know that there's the trust in professional journalism has been eroded over the past decade, 2 decades, intentionally so, I think, by some of our foreign actors. Get a subscription to a newspaper. buy your children, especially, a subscription to a newspaper, but get off social media.
Or even better, not just one newspaper, but several newspapers.
Several newspapers, absolutely.
I personally try really hard to make sure that I'm looking at sources.
Yeah.
That sources that agree with me, and when I see a whole bunch of sources all taking the same position, I will actually go and try and find the counterpoint. If not just to understand what else is going on in the world. So thank you very much for that, because it is so important right now at a time when people don't, it's so hard to be able to tell when you're being spoon-fed something that, and being taken down a path of something that people want you to believe, and when you really are seeing data that should cause you to change your opinions.